What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut of Multi-Platinum Production Team.
Arkatech Beatz.
Welcome to the live music review series. We're reviewing music tonight. If it's your first time here, make sure that you are like, commenting, and subscribing. Jumping into the live stream. Make sure you are submitting your songs. We are multi-platinum producers, or I'm part of a production team. Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. And I have produced records for your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Big Pun Nas, Jadakiss, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Max B, French Montana, Wiz Khalifa, Killer Mike, The Game, Raekwon the Chef, Shorty Low, Freddie Gibbs, Zaha the Prince, and so many others. So, if it's your first time here, man, you're in good hands, man. Coke Wave 3.5 out now. French Montana, Max B, $1 Million Baby 4 coming soon with production by us and so many others. I'm sure y'all hear that Max B 50 Cent by now. So Max is the hottest thing since Fish Grease right now, and we're producing everything, man. Shout out to Max B, man. Why you do that, producers, man? Come on, let's go. Let's make sure that y'all are submitting your songs. And let's go. Submit your songs, submit your beats. We have a total of 345 submissions. I think once we get to 1,000 submissions, I think we should have a giveaway. What you guys think? Jumping into the live. We're just gonna give folks a few minutes to jump in. You know, some people have put some paid skips in. I just want to give folks some time to log in, get the notification. But in the meantime, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all are sharing with a friend. If you know a producer out there, if you know an artist, guys know that, and y'all want somebody to get some information that relates to the music business, get the music review, it's the best place for that. Shout out to everybody joining the live, man. See, submit your songs to the link on the screen. We're gonna get started in a few minutes, man. I'm gonna play wherever it's left off at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to log in daily if the time permits. You know what I'm saying? Because we all, you know, currently working very hard with Max B and these guys. So I try to do what I can in terms of getting on and you know, try to listen to what I can listen to. But you know, whoever the people leaving in line, I just leave it the way that it is. And if, you know, when we get to it, we get to it. I don't know. You know, most folks are just skipping at this point. You know what I mean? Because they're looking at it and they're like, I don't know when he's gonna get to it. I normally try to be on for about an hour, a little bit more than that. But most of the time right now is just really dedicated to try to get ready for this, you know, this new Max tape. And you know, it's crazy. This new Max tape got everybody on it. We got joints with a 2 Chainz. We got a joint on there with a Wiz Khalifa. We got another joint on there with a, you know, of course with French, and then, you know, we got a bunch of joints, man. So you just gotta, you know, we doing it for real, you know, and we doing it for real, and we just trying to do this music review to just give people some real good feedback, and really trying to find some folks that we want to collaborate and trying to see who's next. You know, I've been hearing some decent stuff. I ain't gonna hold you. There's been some folks that put some decent stuff in, and I'm trying to really connect the dots to see, you know, like who's really out here, who's really about their business, who's really trying to get it done, you know. And, you know, a lot of our career has always been about finding the artists before they pop off. You know what I mean? Like we did early Freddie Gibbs, we did early Meek Mill. You know, you gotta just know, you gotta hear it, you gotta know, you gotta find it. You know, so I'm just using online to do that, to find what's gonna be next. You know, I don't think people really realize the type of opportunity that it is. I think they're just too used to like seeing, you know, other people who do it, but you'll never find anybody online doing this with the resume that we have. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You'll never find somebody that got a resume like us with top 10 rappers like us. Never. So, you know, just share the live, and, you know, anybody that's looking to submit, you know, whoever's looking to kind of, you know, if you know artists, if you know producers. And then we got the new producer group that I'm starting up. And it's really to teach folks about the music business, man, and you know, get folks to understand music publishing, music copyright, you know, making sure you song registration, you know, all those things that a lot of people are just not privy to. So, you know, I'm giving people real life case studies, telling them, you know, how to do things, you know, how to conduct your music business, you know, how to really make sure that your joint is set up the way it needs to be set up, and so forth and so on. So that's the school community that we got for the Future Producer Society. For people who want to join that, it's going to be there. Well, I want to get started in a few minutes. Just trying to give some folks, just trying to give the algorithm a chance to push it out to let people know that they're online. Because I told folks I'm going to get on at 8 o'clock. And I'll be trying my best to do it on time. So tonight I'm on time. Sometimes, you know, I'll be taking like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It just depends. You know, but we try to do our best. And in the meantime, I'm just playing some joints that I cooked up. Normally I play some of the other music that's already out, but you know, I'd be getting the copyright strikes. So I'll be trying to stay away from that. But, you know, every now and again I'll play some Mac stuff or stuff like that, just to try to see what's going on, see who's jumping in live and stuff like that. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. Shout out to the folks that are like, you know, tuning in. Shout out to the folks that are submitting their records.
Arkatech.
You know what I mean? So shout out to those folks.
Arkatech Beatz.
Peace, bro.
Arkatech Beatz.
JQX, what up, brother? Max B, $1 Million Baby 4 coming soon, man. We're in the last leg, man. We got a little bit of a delay. Had to handle some of the music clearances. I'm trying to tell folks about them damn samples, man. Gotta be holding up the process. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live, man. Yeah, man, people still be using samples. There's some people that like to rap on what they like to rap on, you know what I mean? redoing stuff. You know what I mean? But it's even deeper than the samples, man. It's like also like, you know, guys using different melodies and guys making different references to different melodies and songs in their raps. So when you do that, now that turns into an interpolation, right? And then you have to clear that, right? Because you're taking a portion of somebody else's song that they wrote, and you're using that melody in your rap at some point, trying to be slick. But now you got to come off the publishing on that. You know what I mean? So, it's a double-edged sword, man, and all of that stuff. Most guys don't really go about clearing those things, but if you really want to be smart to make sure that nobody's in your pocket later on, your best bet is to cut it cleared in the front end. You know what I mean? So, just stuff like that to really kind of get people in the mind frame of what to do. And with this platform, we try to break the platform into like two different kind of things. We try to break it into the music review side, and then we also talk the business side. You know what I mean? And then we do the music production tutorials, and we do those things all at the same time. So it's a little bit of everything, just trying to get folks to understand, like, listen, if you have something that's going on in this music business, you can get the information from here. And it's from, when I say get the information from here, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get the information from here because at the end of the day, we have the true experience. And what I really don't like is when I see a lot of guys giving, information online and they never really did anything. You're not really in the business. You're on the outskirt of the business. And you get your information from people that are in the business, and then you try to act like you know the business because you got the information from the people in the business, but not actually experiencing the business. So that's just my take on it. But yeah, the plaques, those are some awards, man, that that I got throughout my career, and then being in here, thank God for Big Pun. He changed my life. First record that we ever produced for Big Pun is Capital Punishment. We were blessed to have that as our first placement, first professional placement for it to go double platinum and get a Grammy nomination, and first Latino to go platinum, and and then we worked on the second album with him. And then we were able to go from there to work with Raekwon extensively. Rest in peace to Oliver Power Grant. He was very instrumental in helping us really get our first set of studios. I wouldn't say our first set of studios because I already had a studio, but to get another one that we had to get built. So he really was instrumental in helping us build that. And then we did a lot of work with him, Raekwon, and American Cream Team. And he was really instrumental early in my career in terms of like mentorship and making me learn a lot of things about the business. Because there were things that I knew about the business from a book aspect, but not from an experience aspect. So, I'll always remember our talks with him and, and the things that he let me experience. Like just he had me experience the music business on a high level. Oh man, he was in the streets with Park Hill, man, with homie, man. So you already know he's the realest one. You know what I'm saying? I remember we played some music for him, man, and he gave us a call and he said, "Yo, we're gonna need all of that." He said, "We said everything." He said, "We need all of that." So we started. So then that's when you had to lay all your music down on 2-inch reels and stuff. So he was like, "Yo, come, what you guys need?" And I'm like, "Yo, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that." He was like, "Make a list." This is no cap. He said, "Make a list." I made a list. I made a list of equipment that we needed, and it was like a Christmas list of equipment that I said I think we were gonna need to make it happen. And that list was about $30,000 worth of equipment, no cap, like 30 G's. If I'm lying, I'm flying. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Bet." Gave him a couple of weeks. Said, "Yo, meet me at the. I need you to go down to the office, to the WooWare office, and then I need you to go meet." He was like, "Yo, I always need you to." He's like, "Yo, I need you to go to Sam Ash downtown. Y'all know that Sam Ash in Times Square. And man, we loaded up our trucks with that equipment, man. 30K worth of equipment, man. I had new speakers. I had got the new Mackie speakers. I had got the Soundcraft Ghost, 2 MPC XLs, 2000 XLs fully loaded. Everything. And we got to fucking work. You heard? Like, we got to work. We laid like 50 tracks for Raekwon, bro. No cap, like 50 joints. And then you see like then we did so that a lot of that music went to the Mobilarity, and then we was doing the Cream Team stuff. And then we did the stuff for the Black and White movie. And then I started to travel with guys. First time I came to Atlanta, I was with Power and Ray. First time I go to LA, Power and Ray. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to understand, like, that's my story in terms of, like, I could have done a lot of those things without that brother. So rest in peace to him, man. You know what I'm saying? For people the real people know. Like, he's a real guy. You know what I mean? So we're about to get into these reviews. Like I said, I'm gonna be on here for about an hour. So I'm gonna jump into this joints right now, and let's see what we're dealing with. I think I played this yesterday.
At the tone, please.
Yes, I did play this yesterday. So we're gonna jump into our first page skip for today. The queue is at 345. We had 345 submissions thus far since I started this series. So again, I think I might do a giveaway. On 1,000 submissions. I'm just trying to figure out, if it's gonna be like some music or some licenses or whatever. I just got to figure out how we want to do the collaboration once we get to 1,000. And then I have a new situation that I'm working with a new company that's going to be working to do what we call an artist discovery platform. So the music that I curate from here, or the music that gets submitted here, I'm gonna submit it over there as a recommendation for music discovery. So look out for that, hopefully in another month or so. So it's going to be an awesome platform, and I've been able to kind of play with it for a little bit. And it gives a place for folks to find new music, to like, comment, share, and even make money for artists, So just something to look out for. But let's go into this. This is Man in the Mirror Part 2, Russell Evan, featuring who? John Crawford. I don't want to butcher the name, but let's take a listen to it, y'all. Let's go.
Inner motivation. When I think about my childhood, I understand empathy and patience. What you saying? That's compassion. I learned self-love, taking off the masking. My resilience when it comes to any fear. Sharing these feelings that make a dope me want to tear up insecure or the builder. Looking at my inner child in the mirror.
I'm a victim of my pride, can face the mirror when in front of one. Addicted to the high and the escape of what I'm running from. Concealing in disguise the shame and feelings I be numbing up. My inner chest to cries of vain can't reach out where it's coming from. State of confliction like my dilemma with karma. Rooted from pain and bleakers was buried that stemming from trauma. Unsettled and harbored in spaces I relationally retract to. On dependencies and love that I get anxiously attached to. But I gotta keep my guard, cause I can't fall for no one else. My healing starts, I keep my heart and I resolve it for myself. For all the times I gave my all, I'ma withdraw for myself. Append the play and center stage and let the art perform itself. It's for my inner child. Search within the truth, will seek with therapy. In times we're out of reach, our minds inclined to feed off memories. Gotta think with clarity, embrace to reap the better me. We'll grow to find a peace, I'll take the lead, you keep the energy. Yeah, I'ma finish what we started. I know right where to reach and I'ma listen when he talking. He seeks advice and set the bar we draw our margins with. As peace of mind breathes into life will be the heart of it. I'll keep the message and I promise I'll deliver. I'll put in work, I'm a provider, not a quitter. From ill-advised to undivided in the picture. Face a man that smiles through his inner child in the mirror.
You better finish what you started. Stretching on these wood floors, it be a sin to put in carpet. I sound like a narcissist. This is what it looked like when a product in the faucet hit and made my inner child smile in the mirror. Make my inner child smile in the mirror. Smile in the mirror. And make my inner child smile in the mirror. You better finish what you started. Stretching on these wood floors, it be a sin to put in carpet. I sound like a narcissist. This is what it looked like when a product in the faucet hit and made my inner child smile in the mirror. Make my inner child smile in the mirror, smile in the mirror. And make my inner child smile in the mirror.
Yeah, that's Man in the Mirror Part 2, man. Russell Evans. Yo, I gotta bring that back.
My childhood, I understand empathy and patience. What you saying? That's compassion. I learned self-love, taking off the masking. My resilience when it comes to any fear. Sharing these
Y'all can
feelings
submit
that
to the
make a
link on the
dummy wanna
screen.
tear up insecure of the builder. Looking at my inner child in the mirror.
I'm a victim of my pride, can face the mirror when in front of one. Addicted to the high and the escape of what I'm running from. Concealing in disguise the shame and feelings I be numbing up my inner chest. The rise of vein can't reach out where it's coming from. State of confliction like my dilemma with karma. Rooted from pain and bleakers was buried that stemming from trauma. Unsettled and harbored in spaces I relationally retract to. On dependencies and love that I get anxiously attached to. But I gotta keep my guard.
That was tricky right there.
Cause I can't fall for no one else. My healing starts, I keep my heart and I resolve it for myself. For all the times I gave my all, I'ma withdraw for myself. Append the play and center stage and let the art perform itself. It's for my inner child. Search within the truth, will seek with therapy. In times we're out of reach, our minds inclined to feed off memories. Gotta think with clarity, embrace to reap the better me. We'll grow to find a peace, I'll take the lead, you keep the energy. Yeah, I'ma finish what we started. I know right where to reach and I'ma listen when he talking. He seeks advice and set the bar we draw our margins with. As peace of mind breathes into life will be the heart of it. I'll keep the message and I promise I'll deliver. I'll put in work, I'm a provider, not a quitter. From ill-advised to undivided in the picture. Face the man that smiles through his inner child in the mirror.
You better finish what you started. Stretching on these wood floors, it'd be a sin to put in carpet. I sound like a narcissist. This is what it looked like when a product in the faucet hit and made my inner child smile in the mirror. Make my inner child smile in the mirror, smile in the mirror. And make my inner child smile in the mirror. You better finish what you started. Stretching on these wood floors, it'd be a sin to put in carpet. I sound like a narcissist. This is what it looked like when a product in the faucet hit and made my inner child smile in the mirror. Make my inner child smile in the mirror, smile in the mirror. And make my inner child smile in the mirror.
Yo, I like this joint, man. Listen, I feel like the music could be slightly louder. Maybe I'm just tripping, but I just feel like it could be. That might just be a mastering thing. I feel like it could be a little bit louder in terms of the whole thing. I like where these guys' voices are. I like the way these guys are rapping. I like the way these guys are on beat and cadence, control, tone, inflection, confidence. Like all of these things bleed out on the record. Like these things are important in terms of your rap cadence to just make sure that people believe what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? Like you can't really be saying these things and say these things like you're, like, you know, like I don't want to, like, you can't say shit like you a pussy. Let's put it that way, right? So at the end of the day, if I had to make any changes to this, right, I would take this hook and I would place it in the beginning. See, like how we got this right here?
When I think about my childhood, I understand empathy and patience. What you saying? That's compassion. I learned self-love, taking off the masking. My resilience when it comes to any fear.
Like I would probably leave it to breathe a little bit right here in terms of, instead of having some of that in there, just kind of have yourself a slight intro. And then when the beats start
Sharing
with
these
the
feelings
hook.
that make a dummy want to tear up insecure of the builder. Looking at my inner child in the mirror.
I'm a victim of my pride, can face the mirror when in front of one. Addicted to the
Right? So that because this hook to me is strong, and this record is relatively short because it really only has one verse, right? Instead of having the two hooks at the end, put one in the front. You see what I'm saying? So basically, effectively, the length of the record wouldn't actually change, but the impact of the record would change because now we have the defined hook in the front and the defined hook at the end. The issue that I'm having here is that I hear Man in the Mirror in different iterations throughout the song, right? So in the intro, it says Man in the Mirror, and then when he gets to the end of his verse, he says it a different way. And then by the time we get to the hook, the real hook, which is at the end, it's basically being repeated in another way again. So while we are saying man in the mirror, we're not saying it the exact same way, in the exact same framing, in the exact same repetition. And remember, what we have to do when we're making these songs is we have to build songs that have repetition and replay value. And I think the way that we get to that is by making sure that this hook is standing out, right? And with the hook standing out here,
this is what it looked like when the product in the faucet hit and made my inner child smile in the mirror. Make my inner child smile in the mirror.
And then I would ad-lib this a little bit to have a little bit of like just to accent certain words, so that some of those words are double, so that it stands out. Because at first listen, it sounded like it was just another verse from the feature and not the hook. You see what I'm saying? Because it didn't have enough of the vocal differentiation in terms of the stacking of the ad-libs to actually make it feel like it's a bigger part of the record. And your hook has to feel like it's a bigger part of the record, or the biggest part of the record, rather. So we have to put emphasis on making sure that that stands out in the vocal performance. But this beat is slapping. I feel like the sequencing is pretty decent in terms of where it is. Lyrics is on point, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I like this hook with the narcissist. And then he said when that water and that faucet hit, like I like how that, you know, that was slick the way that he did that.
You better finish what you started. Stretching on these wood floors, it'd be a sin to put in carpet. I sound like a narcissist. This is what it looked like when the product in the faucet hit and made my inner child smile in the mirror.
Let's go. Make
my inner child smile in the mirror. Smile in the mirror. And make my inner child smile in the mirror.
This is a good effort. Russell, you get my star. I bust my gun on that. And it's gonna be one of my favorite ones that I'm gonna look for when we get into the other platform, and then we start looking for folks on socials to see if who we can collab with, man. But thank you for submitting it. Hopefully you could take that feedback and hopefully you can apply it. And I think if we get it that way, I think you're gonna have a winner that you can work with and start to kind of lay the groundwork in terms of just putting it out and just see what people are thinking and just get a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to see what the socials are gonna say. Because ultimately you got to test it with the people to see where it lands. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, man, and thank you for submitting. We're going into our next skip for the evening. What's this right here? Hold on, let me see what this is. Entanglement with. I'm gonna stop bringing my glasses out here. Entanglement with Jezebel. Lust Chronicles. This was by Sincere Hampton. Now listen, man. This joint says Entanglement with Jezebel. There's already, that title is really kind of intriguing. And then we say it's the Lust Chronicles. Now you guys do know that this is a family show, right? I'm not about to play nothing that's like, you know, absolutely like, succubus type, concubine type, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to play none of that. I'm only playing with you, bro. I'm going to take a listen to it. Let's go, man.
Educated, her life decision could have been smarter. Don't know her father, reaching out, she never bothered. Sayonara, the moment when he heard Google Gaga. Educated, her life decision could have been smarter. Don't know her father, reaching out, she never bothered. Sayonara, the moment when he heard Google Gaga. Single mother, only providing for her daughter. Fast money, lose your morals and find a dollar. Escorting, her occupation is fucking holler. Extra arm and a leg for head, she suck and swallow. Married man, her favorite, lipstick on the collar. The wife noticed and quickly ran to go tell your honor. Took him to court, filed for divorce. custody of the kids and left with no remorse. Of course. Well, helping another woman, the least you can do. Besides, you had her husband for a weekend or two, but you ain't stop it, you only profit the freak within you. Within you, ooh.
Her sex choices of childhood, unprotected, felt neglected. Age 9, she was molested. Sex is life, truth hurts, and love kills.
Life's a bitch, but you rich and your pussy pays the bills. I must admit, be legit and just tell me how I feel. I can't walk in your shoes and you run in high heels. When they ask what you doing, do you lie still? And she replied, my future didn't really plan out. I ain't looking for a handout, so I'm doing OnlyFans now. Got a couple 100 bands now, but I'm living on my knees now. And I'm sweating on my weave out. Got a sexual disease now, gotta hide it when I leave out. Ooh la la la, voulez-vous coucher? I just want a bone, every dog has its day. Ooh la la la, voulez-vous coucher? I just want a bone, every dog has its day. Ooh la la la.
So this sounds like this is more than one song, and he's kind of put it all into one 7-minute clip in here. So I'm listening to this, and I like what you're trying to accomplish with this in terms of telling this story. You know, this first track, I think this first track is dope, like really smooth. Right? Now I think it takes a little bit too long for you to get started in here. It's almost like 30 seconds before you say anything.
Educated, her life decision could have been smarter. Don't know her father, reaching out, she never bothered. Sayonara, the moment when he heard Google Gaga. Educated, her life decision could.
And even with that, I guess I would say this would be the first part of the hook with the Google Gaga. And I was probably looking to hear it again, maybe toward the end of the second verse, but I know that if you're trying to connect everything in a story type of a version type of way, I can see why you probably wouldn't have done it that way. But I would basically refer to some of my older reviews when I say, like, listen, man, you got to remember that people are not consuming these products the way that we're used to consuming these songs, right? Like we used to consume songs or albums in ways that had like the intros and tell the stories and the interludes and the skits and those type of things. And those things no longer really work in the streaming era. And because in the streaming era, everything has to kind of stand on its own. So if you're, when was the last time you guys were on streaming and you had a song that was recommended to you that was an interlude or a skit? Like, those don't necessarily get sent over to you because they're not really considered really, songs per se. So the algorithm doesn't really recommend those type of things. So these things are going to start to lose their value in the streaming world. And, trying to do that, I think ultimately is going to hurt, the overall performance of a project. So I will go back to say again, like, if we're doing songs that are supposed to tie together in some sort of story format, I would still say to you, still format these joints to have, decent intros, still formulate them to have decent hooks, right? Now make the length of your verse however you need to make the length of your verse, and still look to end off with a hook. I think you should still be looking to make a song, even though it may be a statement, but it still needs to be somehow wrapped into a song format that's digestible and has replay and relatable value. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is really what needs to happen, in these type of scenarios where we're doing these type of songs. So I think that this concept that you have, because this sounds to me like this is like a, if it's about 7 minutes, that can possibly contain about seven. It says 7 minutes and 30 seconds, so that can possibly contain about 3 songs. So that can honestly be a project in itself, like a small type of EP. Again, that's something that you'll have to decide how you want these things to be kind of put together. But as far as the singular song that you put into the situation, that's my feedback on it. I think that what you got going on is pretty decent. Just watch out for some of the vocal performances, making sure that you're staying on timing. Everything else to me sounds pretty decent in terms of your mix, in terms of your song selection, your beat selection, and even with the lyrics. I think the lyrics, have some legs on it in terms of the content. I think people I think people need some different types of content these days. And music that's a little bit more conscious, I think, has more staying power, and I think it has the ability to last longer. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the things that I think we have to really pay attention to if we want to make songs that are gonna last and really withstand the test of time. So I want to just thank you for this, and thank you for submitting it. That's Sincere Hampton. That's the Entanglement with Jezebel, and this is the Chronicles, the Lust Chronicles. Crazy, dog. You know what I'm saying? We're doing music reviews tonight, people. If you haven't already submitted, please submit on the link on the screen. We have a total of 346 submissions. And we've been listening to some records, man. We've been listening to some dope joints, man. Jumping into the live. We're going to jump into this next joint called In Charge by Benz. Let's take a listen to this. Spotify link.
Finally got to be in charge now. I'ma need some tough shoulders. Nowhere around it, gotta make it for my lost soldiers. Stacking up that wrecks, now I ain't tryna get no rest. I'm always on a mission, since I had that vision. Was born and raised a savage. The child speak my language. She know a real nigga put that work in. Keep my eyes open, see the competition lurking. Trying to best where I've been at. Tryna hop on the jet, it's going a minute. Niggas finally got spin charge now. I'ma need some tough shoulders. Nowhere around it, gotta make it for my lost soldiers. Stacking up that wrecks, now I ain't tryna get no rest. I'm always on a mission, since I had that vision. Was born and raised a savage. The child speak my language. She know a real nigga put that work in. Keep my eyes open, see the competition lurking. Trying to best where I've been at. Tryna hop on the jet, it's gone in a minute. Niggas thought that I was done with it. Back in the booth, I'm not just tryna have some fun with it. Who's red no, that's what I'm rapping. Stand on business, every place I step in. Back then I went straight crazy, now I'm happy how I planned it. Flying off the radar, I don't even know where I landed. I'm ballin' like Wemby, every game I tryna win it. Whole city know I run it. Stay the brightest, keep a cartel, we gon' keep it 100. You know what I'm saying, my G? But that's some music. Not only sky's the limit. On a daily getting stronger. I been feeling like I'm Papa or the Spinach. I finally got spin charge now. I'ma need some tough shoulders. Nowhere around it, gotta make it for my lost soldiers. Stacking up that wrecks, now I ain't tryna get no rest. I'm always on a mission, since I had that vision. Was born and raised a savage. The child speak my language. She know a real nigga put that work in. Keep my eyes open, see the competition lurking. Trailing best where I've been at. Tryna hop on the jet, it's gone in a minute. OG, Benz. Not only sky's the limit.
It's In Charge by Benz. Sound like I'm UK. So what I would say with this,
I finally got spin charge now. I'ma need some tough shoulders. Nowhere around it, gotta make it for my lost soldiers. Stacking up that wrecks, now I ain't tryna get no rest. I'm always on a mission, since I had that vision. Was born and
right? So I would say, and I've been telling guys to do this in the last few lives. See, like he got an 8-bar hook, but he never says "in charge" again, right? So the name of the song is "In Charge." He has the first "I was born to be in charge." He says it in the first line, and then he goes through the goes to the 4 bars. Then he goes into another set of 4 bars, right? Because now, in my first listen, that's why I brought it back. In my first listen, I said, "Is his hook 4 bars," right? And then when I heard the second part of the hook, it felt like the verse to me, right? And then when we get to the end, we find out now that he does it again. And then I'm like, okay, so that is the full hook with the 8 bars. But because the first 4 bars start off with "In Charge" and the second 4 bars say something totally different, then it was hard to kind of piece that together. What I would suggest is that he takes that first 4 bars and then just repeat it. You understand? So, just so that I can illustrate it to the folks who may not be like bar counting, you know, this is very, very important in you know, in creating this music and making sure that your music is, you know, arranged properly, right? So here goes this.
I finally got spin charge now. I'ma need some tough shoulders. Nowhere around it, gotta make it for my lost soldiers. Stacking up that wrecks, now I ain't tryna get no rest. I'm always on a mission, since I had that vision. Was born and raised a savage.
Right? So when he said I'm born to be a savage and all of that other stuff, like, that's cool, but that doesn't drive home the name of the song, right? Because if I said to you, what was the song about? Or what was the hook about? You couldn't remember. And that is what destroys your replay value, right? It's because you're making your hook not memorable. Nobody's going to remember anything out of an 8-bar hook. It's too long. You know what I'm saying? Just telling y'all that. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter if you're the hardest rapper, you know. Nobody's doing 8-bar verses like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. Like, not in this day and age. It's too microwave. You know, folks' attention span is too short. So to do an 8-bar hook, especially an 8-bar rap hook that doesn't repeat. Nah, though. That's not my recommendation. So on this joint, I like everything else per se. I like where the track is at. I feel like the track is decent. I feel like he's mixed decent. I feel like his vocals is actually pretty good. I feel like his rhyme is pretty good too. I feel like the way that he raps is it's not necessarily quote unquote different, but at the same time, it's not something that I've heard recently. You know what I mean? So I think that's a win, right? So you take that. I would say take that part of the hook, double that up. I mean, this song is already out on Spotify, but if you have any other joints that you haven't released yet, follow that formula. Get a strong first 4 bars. If you have another 4 bars that's different, you pick the strongest of the 2, and then you take that and make that, double it up, make that into the hook. Especially on the rap situation, man. And then make sure that we're creating a hook that's really more of an experience, because a lot of times what I'm hearing is that the hook is laid down in the same fashion as the rest of the verse. Meaning the hook doesn't have any doubles, the hook doesn't have any ad-libs, the hook doesn't have any things in the background, the hook doesn't have any flair to it that makes it stand out as the hook. And we have to make sure that can be clear on any song that we're creating, that it has to come out and it has to stand, the hook has to stand out. So if the hook isn't standing out, man, then you're gonna create a situation that just doesn't work. So that's my feedback on that. This joint is called In Charge. Shout out to Benz for submitting. I appreciate you. Listen, man, this music reviews is open, and we'll be on for another possibly 15 minutes more. So if you're looking to kind of get your record listened to tonight, now is the time. But you'll probably need to skip because there is approximately 135 songs in the queue out of a total of 346 that were submitted. So we're just here. DJ Cruz, what's up? This next joint is called, what is it called here? Polo by Run It Back. We're going to take a listen to this. Let's see what it sounds like. So shout out to Polo on this is running back. Shout out to my producers that's in the building. Remember, we have the Future Producer Society There's a new community that we're starting up in terms of teaching folks the music business, teaching producers techniques in terms of production, and etc. It's gonna be run by me. You're gonna be mentored directly by me. It's free to join, and I'm just really trying to give back to heads so they can really learn this music business and also learn different techniques in terms of music production. So this song right here with homie right here, it's banging, right? Like it got a bang to it. It's doing the classic trap. It's banging. It's doing what it got to do. It's a little bit peaking in terms of it's like a little bit distorted, so it's a little bit on the loud side, which is it's trap music, so it can happen like that. But when you're outputting, just make sure you're paying attention to how hot you're outputting, because you have to realize that most of these tracks are going to be 2 tracks. Guys may not ask for your stems immediately, and if it's too distorted, then they're not going to be able to record their demos to it, or it'll create an issue where it doesn't necessarily sound the way it needs to sound on their systems. So you kind of want to watch out for that when you're submitting your records around. My main issue with this is that this record has different instruments that drop in and out, but they don't drop in and out in what I would call an arrangement, right? So typically what you would have in arrangements, and this is for folks who are coming in now that may not be really familiar with the process here. And this is me talking from, again, working with the best of the best, right? I've worked with the best. Jadakiss, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Raekwon the Chef, Nas, Killer Mike, Freddie Gibbs. These are some of the best lyricists ever. Some of the best rappers ever, right? Big Pun, The Game. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about how songs need to be structured properly. Beats need to be structured properly if you're trying to pitch the beats to make it onto people's albums. I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. Make your record start with a certain level. Make your record start with a very small or short intro, 4 bars tops, right? Sometimes you can get away with 8. It depends on how elaborate the record is. If the record really requires it, then you can probably get away with an 8 bar. We want to go immediately into an 8 bar hook, right? This 8 bar hook needs to remain the same, right? Meaning if the first 4 is doing something and the last 4 do something, that's fine, but that 8 bars needs to stay the same as be determined as the hook. Then we need to find 12 bars to go as the verse, 16 max. So that first 8 might do something, and then that next 4 might be what we call the transition. It's getting us ready to go back into the hook. And then we go back into the hook. And then this beat needs to repeat in that type of loop. Hook, verse, transition to the hook, hook. Back to the verse, transition to the hook, hook, verse. You do that 2 times, and we out. All right? We don't need to do any more than that. But what we can't do is we just can't have the beat just going, and then random times things is dropping out, dropping in, dropping in, dropping out. There's no way for us to write a song to that. You know what I'm saying? And what you're doing is you're creating what I would call more friction for the artist, right? The artist gets more friction by trying to figure out how to write the song, right? Because you have it going all over the place. So you're creating a situation where we're creating confusion. We don't know where what goes. And then remember, most times you may not even get a chance to be in the room to have any feedback to tell them that this is where you need to rap on the hook. This is where you need to rap on the verse. And if you don't have those things delineated, right, when you submit your original music, you create this extra friction. And actually, you create a situation where guys will just fuck up your song. I'll just tell you that straight off. Like if you don't create the music bed for these guys to follow almost to the T, I almost got to tell you, you got to almost dummy proof it. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have guys rapping all over different places. And then you say, well, damn, why my song sound like that? And a lot of songs get screwed up from the beginning. A lot of times it's not the beat. And a lot of times it's not even the verses or the hooks. It's just that the records are just not arranged properly. So because they're not arranged properly, they don't have the replay value. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kills a lot of records. A lot of records don't get as far as they should get because they're just not arranged properly from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to say anything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just tippy-toeing around it and saying, hey, man, let's arrange the record properly so that, the things come in when they're supposed to come in, pause, and then the record continues to have a feeling that it's supposed to have. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I think the beat is dope. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, in terms of the sound selection and the way that you got it rocking, drums and all of that, 808s, I ain't got no issue with none of that. I think what happens here, again, is it's really an arrangement thing. You guys want to arrange your records in a better arrangement fashion. Make sure that we're sequencing them. You got to think of it like your favorite song, you know? And your favorite song is not going to be all over the place. And you can go back and you can listen. You can clearly see that your favorite songs have hooks. They have spacing for rapping, spaces for hooks. Those things are always prevalent. And then they have maybe small intros. Some may have a long intro if it's depending on the caliber of song. But that's not really happening a lot. You know what I mean? So that's really my 2 cents on that, you know? Shout out to Polo for submitting that. And like that's really the game right now. But I'm about to wrap this up. You know, it's a Saturday night, so you know, I know folks is out and about making things do what they do, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to jump on and you know, listen to a few of these records that are rocking inside of this queue. You know, shout out to my folks again. That's just jumping into the Producer Society, Future Producer Society. You know, make sure y'all are signing up there. And if you have any artists or any producers that want to submit any music, you know, make sure you're submitting those on the screen. I come on about once a day to review stuff, and then the other live stream that we may do is we'll do a music production live stream. So the music production live stream is me cooking and me just walking you through the process of me cooking some of this stuff up. And for those who've been following that music production live stream, you guys have been able to witness some of the records that I actually cooked up land, like some of the records that are landing with Max B now, or the records that I cooked up during the summer of last year. You know what I mean? Who's this? All right, somebody just did a paid skip. So, boy, you lucky, boy. I was about to get up out of here. Who's this? Let's take a listen real quick. Dennis Lowry, Lonesome Town. All right, let's take a listen to that, bro. Let's take a listen to that before we get before we jump on out of the building.
Stranger, have you got the time? I've lost track so long ago, so would you be so kind? This weight on my shoulders is so much, like never before. I try to keep my head up, but I can't anymore.
Dennis, is this you or AI?
I've traveled countless miles, heading towards the sun. Time can change any man, but it can't change what I've done. I can't take it back, Lord knows how hard I've tried. What you see don't make the man what he is inside. But the hour hand keeps moving, and I can't slow it down. Every day is like the day before in this lonesome town.
Who's on the guitar?
When it rains, it pours. I'm trying to weather the storm. I'm running out of time. Could you spare some of yours? 'Cause every second counts. I can't buy a minute more. But I learned from my past to let time settle the score, and the hour hand keeps moving, but I keep slowing down. Every day is like the day before in this lonesome town.
That's Lonesome Town, man, by Dennis Lowry, man. Listen, he dropped the country on us tonight, man. He dropped the country on us, and I appreciate you dropping by on this. So listen, I understand that this record is named Lonesome Town, and I know that it just kind of got with the country vibe, and it has a lot of areas with some guitar solos, and that's why I wanted to know if that's you on the guitar, if that's somebody playing, or I'm just trying to get an understanding of it. But what I would probably like to hear on this is for us to drive home the name of the song, in this lonesome town, right? And then playing, and it have a little bit of the guitar going, and still just kind of again repeat, lonesome town, and just to try to get that part of the record or that name of the record to stick. Right, like to try to get it to stick, and I think like when we're doing anything, and I keep talking about hooks, and I'm talking about things that are repeatable and replayable, to just make sure that there's that phrase or that cadence or something like that continues to repeat, so that people can understand and gravitate to that. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter the genre. I think it all is the same in terms of like just creating these vibes of records, or these records that have a certain kind of zone or a certain type of feeling to it that will have something that we can repeat and something that we can replay. If I'm playing a song like this in the back and I'm driving, say for example, I'm driving and I'm going somewhere and my kids in the back of my car, it's like you'll be surprised on what the kids will pick up on in terms of like, the songs that have the strongest hooks. Like, you'll come home later and you'll hear them singing or humming those parts of the songs that stand out, but it's only because those parts of the songs repeat themselves, So I think that if you're trying to have a record that is going to stand out, even if it doesn't have what we would say a traditional hook, because I know that in the country sometimes like the hooks are not necessarily prominent like that in the way that we may sing it in other genres, but I still feel like there's a place for us to use repeatable phrases even during the guitar solos to kind of make this stand out, So that's really my 2 cents on it. I really want to thank you for even submitting it, for this audience, because this audience over here is going to look at it and say, hey man, this he's reviewing the country records today. I am. I'm gonna, because to me, music is music, and honestly, I'm listening to these guitar solos and I'm like, man, in a different life, I would be taking some of these guitar solos and I would be turning them into different beats. You know what I'm saying? In a different situation, like, I'd be like, yo, what you want to do to sample that? You know what I mean? Because that's what I was built up on, is listening to all types of different music to find those diamonds, those samples that had different guitar stuff, different string stuff, new age, country, rock, you name it. We did all of it. So, I want to just thank you again for submitting. And, I think that might be close to my time tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so if I'll give it another minute or so. So if somebody has anything that they're trying to get through to me tonight, now is the time before I sign off. But for the most part, man, I'd like to thank everybody that submitted tonight. I want to thank everybody that's been listening. I want to thank everybody that has been commenting, liking, subscribing, you know, all of the good stuff. I appreciate I appreciate so many people that are doing that are really just supporting the channel and supporting the effort. And the way that I see it now, I see it like this. I see it like the way like I'm trying to create this format and the way that I'm trying to create this platform. I'm just trying to make sure that I have it in a way that can really help people. You know what I mean? Like I remember not being able to get help when I first started in this business. And I remember what that felt like. And I remember what it felt like not being able to get information, not being able to get good advice, not being able to have somebody just lead us in the right direction at all. You know, like me and Mike, when we first started, like we didn't even get a manager until we were maybe like 15, 20 years in. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a really a struggle to just get any type of semblance of help at all. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at this now and I'm saying, okay, you know, I'm building these platforms. I'm trying to build out, like I said, the Future Producer Society. I'm trying to build out these things, and I'm trying to make sure that I can get people the help and get people the understanding and the things that I didn't get. You know, so, you know, just the opportunity. And then some people gave us opportunities, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, the power of Wu-Tang. You know, he gave us a very huge opportunity. He gave a bunch of guys who didn't have the experience. Like, you know, we had a little bit of experience because, you know, the Pun record had came out and we had success with the Pun record at the Capital Punishment. So, you know, but we didn't have the experience to, you know, produce a whole guy's album or a third of a guy's album and stuff like that. We didn't have the experience to score a movie with Raekwon and him in there with Black and White. We didn't have the experience, and he bet on us, man, that we would figure it out on the fly, and we did. You know, so sometimes people got to just give you a chance, you know. And I think, you know, having the right platforms and making sure that folks can understand that, yo, people can give you a chance if you can show them that you're here to work, man, and you're here to really put in your own work, and if you're here to invest in yourself and you're here to make a difference for yourself, that you'll be surprised how people will, you know, lend a hand to see people make it if they see you doing your thing, you know. So that's another reason why I also wanted to create the platform so other people could see other people and say, you know what, I really like what this person is doing. Let me support that, you know. Because on my Instagram and all these other places, did I even set the Instagram up? I might not even set the Instagram live. Did I do it? I sure didn't. I didn't set the Instagram up at all. I had it on, but I didn't set it on. So that's different. But anyway, we'll let that do what it got to do. In any event, you know, that's my time for tonight, man. So, you know, I'm about to sign off out of here. You know, again, this thing is anybody that wants to submit, you know, hopefully I'll be on by tomorrow night again. Tonight we'll probably wind up doing a music production tutorial if I do get back on the live. And for those who are in my group, you know, y'all can make sure y'all check me out, and you know we can get busy. But until then, peace, y'all.